But what are the consequences of all those actions ultimately? Are they good for you? Are they really selfish? Not in the long term. Not if you think about the entire life. I'm assuming you get the cocaine example. Maybe somebody will challenge me on that one. But I'm assuming cocaine's bad for you for over the length of your life. We've got some probably physiologists here who could prove that. But think of the lying example, right? I like the whole idea of lying because people associate selfishness with lying, right? Selfishness just means doing whatever it takes to get what you want, which includes lying, right? Lying is almost, people do it all the time, unfortunately. But think about whether you really get anything from lying. Let's take Bernie Madoff. Everybody know who Bernie Madoff is? I'm assuming you do. Anybody not know? But Bernie Madoff basically was I see somebody doesn't know. So Bernie Madoff basically had a pyramid scheme going where he would, I could tell you guys, I'll get you 20% return a year. And you give me all your money. And I don't do anything with the money, or I spend it, or I just stick it in the bank. And then what I do is but you guys want 20%, right? You want the money back. So I go to another group and say, I'll give you 20% a year. And then they give me their money, and I give it to you. And you got your 20%. Now that group has to be bigger than your group, right? Why is that? Because it has to be your group plus 20%. So how am I gonna pay them back? Well, I'm gonna have to find another group that's even bigger and use their money to pay those guys back. Now by this point, everybody in the marketplace knows that I can give 20% returns, and everybody's excited to give me their money. And now money's just flooding in, and I can give everybody whatever they want. For a while, right? Until what happens? Until I run out of money, run out of people to con. And then I've promised them a huge amount of return, because now remember, it's grown and grown and grown, and I can't pay them back. Now, Bernie Madoff did this on the largest scale in human history. He basically ended up losing people $50 billion, right? Because I'm also spending some of this money as it's coming in, right? I'm buying nice cars, nice boats, vacation homes, doing all that. This other guy, this Rick, I think it's Rick Stanford, just went to jail for like life for doing a similar thing. So this happens, right? Now, people say Bernie Madoff was selfish. And by the way, Madoff was unique. One of the things unique about him is he actually did this with his best buddies, right? He did this to his friends. Okay? Now, Madoff was caught and has gone to jail. What's interesting about the story is the people who turned Madoff in were his sons, who were in the business with him. They called the police, right? The other interesting aspect of it is about a year after he was arrested, exactly a year after he was arrested, one of his sons committed suicide. Nobody in his family talks to him anymore. He's sitting in jail. And as miserable as you'd expect him to be in jail, Bernie Madoff has said that he is happier in jail than he was before he was caught. Because cheating people sucks. It destroys you. It destroys your soul. It destroys your ability to function in the world. Why? Because if our rational faculty, if our minds are the tools by which we survive, lying, cheating means distorting reality. Reality is the facts that we need. So think about this. There's a saying in computers, junk in, junk out. When you lie, when you cheat, you're feeding the machinery of your mind with junk. And the junk out is usually a feeling of frustration, fear, guilt, misery. Nobody that I know who is a regular liar or cheater has any iota of happiness in their life. They are miserable human beings. Okay? The key to happiness is staying connected to reality, is making the machine that makes it possible for you to achieve what you do as efficient and as productive as possible. Again, you guys think about making your muscles as efficient as possible, right? Now think of your mind as another muscle. How do I make it as efficient, as productive as possible? You don't do stuff that you know will rip your muscles to shreds. Lying, cheating, rips the muscle up here to shreds. You can't do it. You can't do it. You cannot gain anything from it long term. Short term, yeah, sure. Short term, you'll get the money, and you can spend it on a nice yacht. But it's going to go, just like that. Just a little bit more on lying. In my age, I'm quite a bit older than you guys, I find it very difficult to remember anything. Like what I did, you asked me what I did a couple of days ago. I'd really find it hard to remember what I did, right? So I find it hard to remember what actually happened. If I lie, I now have to, and this will happen to all of you, right? As you get older, you'll find it more and more difficult to remember actually what happened. But if I lie about something that happened, I have to remember now two different things, two distinct things. Actually, it's more than two, but at least two, right? I have to remember what happened, and I have to remember my lie. And I have to remember who I told what to, right? Who I told what happened and who I told the lie to. And what is likely to be happen to me given my state of lack of memory. I'm going to trip up. I'm going to screw up. And what are the consequences of that? The consequence of that in business is simple. If you lie in business, nobody trusts you. You're going to lose a lot of money. In life, it's the same thing. Try having a relationship with somebody and establishing that relationship on lies. It doesn't last. Okay? Lying doesn't work. On top of that, our brain, our machinery here, likes to integrate things. It likes to connect things. And I've got the set of facts that really happened, the set of falsehoods that I lied about. My brain wants to make those two, wants to connect them. And soon enough, people who lie all the time can't tell the difference between what they lie and what they tell the truth. It's unbelievably destructive. So our perception of what selfishness is, lying, cheating, stealing, being a whim worshiper, going by emotions, are just wrong. Those people are not selfish. We need a new word. Those people are self-destructive. They're not selfless, but they're self-destructive. They're destroying themselves. Okay? You don't want to do that. You don't want to be self-destructive. You want to be self-building, self-creating. You want to be happy. You want to be successful. To do that, you have to stick to this notion of thinking. Okay. Now, we could talk about this topic for days. I would recommend that you guys read, there's a book called The Virtue of Selfishness by Ayn Rand that I would recommend. It talks about these principles in more details. It talks about beyond kind of the being rational, not lying, not cheating, what are the other principles? And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of some of these. One of the things necessary for human happiness, is self-esteem. And I know you've probably heard a lot about self-esteem, and you probably at school they had self-esteem and all this stuff. But what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is a certain sense of confidence, a certain sense of ability that you have about your own life, about your ability to succeed, about pursuing challenges and goals. Without that sense, you cannot ever achieve happiness. You will always undercut yourself. You will never challenge yourself. You need to have the confidence in yourself to be able to challenge yourself. It's a sense of being about yourself. It's a sense that you are worthy. That's what self-esteem is. Now, where does self-esteem come from? Now, we're taught that self-esteem comes from getting a ribbon in school, right? And the more ribbons we give to more people, the more people will have self-esteem. Self-esteem comes from patting people on the back, right? No. Self-esteem doesn't come from other people. Nobody can give you self-esteem. Self-esteem comes from you. Self-esteem comes from you setting goals and achieving them, and when you achieve them, patting yourself on the back. Acknowledging your own success. Acknowledging the fact that you've made an achievement, that you've done something special. That's where self-esteem comes from. And self-esteem is crucial for the idea of happiness. Now, what activity in life do you think generates the most self-esteem? Where are you going to get the self-esteem from? Where is it that you're going to be challenged? Where is it that you're going to be pushed? Where is it that you're going to have this opportunity to pat yourself on the back? It's primarily where you spend, are going to spend, whether you like it or not, and I encourage you to like it, where you're going to spend most of your time, which is at work, which is doing stuff, creating stuff. So I want to talk just a little bit, and then I'll end, about the virtues of work and having a career and taking that career seriously, and not just going to work for the sake of going to work, not doing work that you don't like, but finding work that you love, finding work you're passionate about, and going to work because you love it and you want to do it and it's exciting. To me, this is the most important decision you'll make in life. Because the fact is that whoever you marry, or whatever hobbies you have, or however much weightlifting you do, or everything, you're going to spend a majority of your life at work. You want to make it count. You want to make it good. You want to make it fun. Now, it's not always going to be fun, right? I mean, the challenges. But you want to make it something that you are passionate about. Don't settle. Just like I would say, don't settle for a relationship that's just there, blur, right? Don't settle for a job that's just, Find something that really excites you, and then challenge yourself and push yourself and achieve stuff. And when you achieve stuff, recognize the fact that you've achieved it, and don't wait for your boss to recognize it. I mean, what external people think of you is not that important in life. The most important thing in life is what you think of yourself. So pat yourself on the shoulder, go out for a nice meal, celebrate. Build that self-esteem. Build that confidence that you can attain stuff, that you can build stuff, that you can make something of your own life. And if you do that systematically over life, if you find something that you're passionate and excited about, if you pursue it, if you achieve stuff, that's what's going to build this sense of happiness and success and prosperity.